Hello, this is Deborah with Black Education TV. I'm coming to you again to discuss a very hot button issue that has come up concerning the video I did regarding us no longer being an Israelite. I'm visiting this subject again for a number of different reasons, in which I am going to do a separate video discussing the family in Maryland once again. Okay. Although this is something we've been wanting to talk about for some time, that was the issue that kind of pushed us over the line and said, okay, it's time for us to do this. Okay. Now, the reason I'm coming to you again is because we have very clearly drawn a line in the sand. We said, this is it. This is it right here. And we've made our position very clear. Right now on Facebook, any of you who follow me on Facebook, or connect me in any way on Facebook. And even if you're not connected with me, you may see posts about this. But a lot of people are very upset and angry at our position of dropping the term Hebrew, even though we have shown that the term Hebrew and Jew both come from the same people. Okay, that these are Latin and Greek terms, have nothing to do with our culture whatsoever. We're not saying that it's sinful or wrong to use those terms. If you choose, we just made a choice not to use them, and we gave our reason for it. Okay. Like I said in the first video, we discussed the family in Maryland, in which I'm going to discuss them again in a separate video from this. But we have drawn our line in the sand. This is not one of those things where we need to pull our heads out as a people and throw accusations all over the place and cause all of this friction over what? Over something that doesn't even belong to us. We made very clear the reason as to why we drew the line in the sand in the first video. But now we're telling you, here we are again, drawing our line in the sand as we did with Christianity. I'm not saying that there was nothing in Christianity that I was able to take away from that experience. As a matter of fact, a good portion of what I learned through Christianity and what I received in Christianity came along with me, such as the Ruach HaKodesh, okay, such as the ability to study scripture and search things out, and my relationship with the Most High in terms of praying and fasting and seeking Him. A lot of that I gained while I was in Christianity, you see. But then it got to a point where there was nothing else I can get from that. Now, Christianity is a religion, so it's different than us discovering who we are as it relates to our heritage. Now, many of you are saying that, well, you should have known this before. We are coming into more and more truth daily. Every last one of us, anyone who studies, should I say, should be coming into more truth daily. And because we never had issue with the term Hebrew Israelite before, because we were trying to work our way through this, okay? None of us know our complete and total language. And we have made very clear the reason why we have taken issue with the name now. We made that very clear because so much of what we see happening with our people under the banner of Hebrew Israelite is very, very dangerous at this point. And those of you who equate these decisions with fear, you can say those things sitting behind your keyboard and your profile, your social media profile, with no reference point for anything. It's very easy to say what a person should and should not do when you're sitting behind your keyboard. Now, the family in Maryland, in which I'm not going to discuss them right now, they have some very real issues that they're facing, okay? We, as a family, as a community, we were receiving threats of violence against us in the community that we were in by white militias. I'm not going to get into all of the details of this. One of the things that they accused us of is being a part of a religious cult. So those of you who are running your mouth and you have no idea what the hell you're talking about, We are putting our faces out there. We are putting ourselves out there. We have been in danger. We have been threatened. We had people showing up on our property with guns to confront us. And so for those of you who are coming against us and you have no reference point for why we are saying the things that we're saying, those of you, especially the young man on Facebook who at first we had a good relationship with, or so we thought. You at one time wanted to come to one of our events with you and your wife. And to hear the things that you are saying now without having spoken to us or said anything to us to even understand our reasoning, you are totally out of line. Okay, we understand if you don't agree with our beliefs as it relates to the book of Enoch and other things that you have stated that you don't agree with us on. A lot of you have said, look, I don't agree with your understanding or even your decision to even read from the book of Enoch. We have people who don't agree with us for even dealing with the New Testament or believing in the Mashiach or believing in the Ruach HaKodesh and so many other things. But at least keep it respectful. If you don't agree with our teachings or our belief in the New Testament or other things, or the book of Enoch, so be it. But you have no spiritual or scriptural authority from the Most High to come at us in the way that you have without knowing why we have made the decisions that we've made. We had people watching our children. And the children had to run to us and say that there is a man over here looking at us. And I, Sister Deborah, went and I stood there and I looked this man in his eyes across the distance that he was looking. And I did not break my stare because you are threatening my children now. This man stood there at the edge of our property. And I had to stare back at him to let him know that, no, you will not threaten our children. You will not be here looking at our children in this way. The brothers at the time were not at the property, and this is why they established a rule that at all times one of the brothers has to be here. But because no one was there at that particular time, on that particular day, I had to go down there, and I stood and I looked at this white man in his eyes until he walked away. And you want to tell me that I am a rebellious woman? And you know who I'm talking to, the young man who put this post on Facebook. We have been up against some very real issues. And this is why we are drawing the line in the sand and breaking away from this nonsense related to Hebrew Israelites. Because we too have been accused of being a part of some religious cult because of the rhetoric people have seen and Googled dealing with Hebrew Israelites. It is very frustrating when our own people, with their self-righteous, pharisaical ways, come at you about issues that you choose to speak on. And they have no idea what's going on behind the scenes. They have no idea what's going on in your life. But you come at a person or a group. You come at me and my husband, calling him a weak man because he won't come and argue this out with you. You question our honor. You question his authority. Do you think I make videos against my husband's will? Do you think when we do our studies and our teachings that I'm sitting there against his will, that he doesn't want me there and I'm there anyway? Have you not read the story of Aquila and Priscilla? Have you not heard where Paul said that you are to entreat these women who are fellow laborers in the gospel, whose names are written in the book of life? Just because you don't have a full understanding of scripture, you are not to approach others that may be in a different position that you are, especially if we are your elders. And your whole disrespectful approach, saying that you are bringing correction When you bring correction, as I stated to you, when you bring correction, make sure that the correction that you are bringing is correct and that you are coming and bringing it correctly. Just because you don't agree with our stance on removing the term Hebrew from who we are, who we identify ourselves as, that does not mean that you are correcting me. And as I've stated, you have no idea what's going on behind the scenes. You have no idea how it felt to us and the people on the land, with us wondering who's going to show up with a gun and who's going to, and I'm talking about people who are threatening us and saying that they want to send a message to us, and our children being in the midst of all of this. Us telling the children, look, you have to go back over there, while we talk to people that are showing up on our land who are questioning us about things. This is only part of what we've been going through. And I rebuke you who have come at us in the way that you have, without understanding what it is we've been going through. This is why I prayed for the family in Maryland at the end of the first video that I put up. Because I don't know what it is they're going through. I can't even begin to feel and understand what they're going through, because it has gone full scale for them. We have experienced the light end of that as it relates to dealing with people and dealing with a system that is against you. And the reason why I say a light end, we still have our families intact. But it's a not so light end for those of you who have not put yourselves out there on the front line. You're on the sideline talking trash to those of us who are on the front lines. It was exposed to some of the people in our community that we were the makers of the Whited Out series. Our website information was shared with them. Other information was shared with them. And Gentiles don't like and don't agree with our message. And for those of you who don't understand the reason why I'm responding this way, there is nothing I can do about this, but we have lived through some trying times. All of us have. But to have people showing up on your property with weapons on them, questioning you, to have people playing games, driving by your property, holding up cell phones and taking pictures, slowing down in front of your property, having people yelling out their window the N word, and your children running to tell you, oh, there was a red car this time. There was a white car this time. There was a white pickup truck. There was this, there was that. This is what we have experienced. That's only a little bit of what we have experienced. So I rebuke you people, you Israelites, who think you know what people are going through, and you have no idea. And you say that we are operating in fear because we want to drop the name Hebrew. You are the ones operating in fear because, like I said, we are the ones putting ourselves out there, putting our face out there, talking about controversial issues in the Black community, in the white community, in America, in the world. We put ourselves out there talking about these things. So to accuse us of being cowards and operating in fear, those are just your insults because of the wickedness that is in your heart. That because you have no love for Yah, because you have no love for his people, you have no understanding of his word, you have no clarity in what is going on in this world. But what you have is wickedness in your heart because you want so badly to attack someone. You have other issues going on within you. And so you use this as your opportunity to launch another attack. We and the families that dwell with us, we had discussions on not wanting our children to have to witness us being put in a position where we have to defend ourselves. And you know what I mean by that. We've had discussions on where we're going to tell the children to go if something were to break out. And for those of you who say, oh, she is being so emotional, yes, I am. We are drawing a line in the sand. We are detaching ourselves from this religious, pharisaical nonsense that is going on among the Hebrew Israelites. We do not identify as that because you have become a religious cult. And no, I am not talking about our heritage. Our heritage is true and it stands. We are who we are, and we serve the Most High Yah with gladness, and we will come before his presence with singing, but we are drawing the line in the sand and breaking away from this nonsense. And for all of you hypocritical Pharisees who want to sit behind your keyboards and talk trash, you can continue to do that on your own, while we're going to teach our children how to pray and cry out to the Most High when the enemy comes in like a flood. We are going to teach our children how to call on the Most High Yah when demonic attacks are present in our midst. We are going to teach our children how to stand for what is right, even in the midst of adversity, in the midst of persecution coming from your own people. We still have to keep it real. We still have to do what we have been commissioned to do, in which you have people challenging our commission now, saying, are you saying that the Most High commissioned you to put out this foolishness? Referring to the video in which I said I am no longer a goddamn Hebrew Israelite. It makes me wonder, did people even listen to the message? If you heard what I was saying, you would have known that we were not denouncing our culture. I didn't feel the need to share some of the things that happened with us on our land in that video because I was wanting to focus on the family in Maryland and what they are going through. But obviously that didn't even matter. The one young man on Facebook didn't even talk about that issue in his attack against me and my husband. Didn't even discuss that. His issue was attacking us. If that's what you want to do, if that makes you happy to attack us, so be it. But be prepared to get a response. If not from us, from the Most High Yah, because we are asking the Most High to judge between you and us, and between all other people who have called us out of our name. The one brother who decided to call me a cunt and to call me a B word and a whore because of that video. And you know who I'm talking about. All of that because I denounced being or calling myself a Hebrew Israelite. But you've proven my point. That's why we want to break away from this nonsense. Because if this is how our men deal with the women, deal with the daughters of Zion, especially those of us who are trying to live righteous and walk upright, and those of us who do submit to our husbands, if this is the treatment we get, I definitely want to break away from such an evil, wicked, cultish behavior. Definitely. The world is looking at us. And like I said in one of my other videos, that we are going to spark a new movement of awakening in which we will go by what we truly were meant to be called. And if we don't go by anything at all, that is fine too. If we are just servants of the Most High Yah, that is fine. We don't really need a title at all. We don't need to refer to ourselves as anything. Someone made a very good point in which I was really proud. I wish some of the points that were made can be seen by all, but they can't unless I go through and read all of them, in which I don't have time to do that. But someone made a point that our people always refer to themselves by their tribe. I am so-and-so from the tribe of Yehuda. So for those of you who want to know who and what I am Deborah Yah from the tribe of Yehuda. That's who I am. I don't have to refer to myself as a Hebrew Israelite or a black Hebrew Israelite or any of that. My name is Deborah Yah, from the tribe of Yehudah. So all of you religious, pharisaical, hypocritical, divisive people who want to accuse us of being divisive because we have decided to break away, this is a choice we've made for ourselves. If you want to continue to call yourself Hebrew Israelite, I'm not mad at you. I don't have a problem with that. That is you. But we gave very valid reasons why we should. And what's nice is many of you who have commented on this issue have already broken away from it long before we said anything about it. And some of you said you were never calling yourself a Hebrew Israelite to begin with. So all of you have taken issue with us. I mean, there has been a firestorm of feedback on this particular video on Facebook and on YouTube in the comments of the video that I posted and the subsequent videos. And so with this, I felt the need to explain, in which I shouldn't have to, but there's a scripture that says that we have to earnestly contend for the faith. That is what we are doing. In Jude, it says that we are to earnestly contend for the faith. So we are doing that. We are stating our position. Earnestly contend means to argue your position. Fight for what is right. So that is what we are doing. Look, we love our family. I even love you, young man, you and your wife. A couple of years back, we looked forward to meeting both of you. But obviously, you have allowed something to fester in your mind against us to the point where you have been very rude towards me and my husband. We are both your elders. Regardless to what meaning you want to apply for elders, but the way you came at it is completely against Torah. And we've been having experience in that a lot lately. So it lets me know that the thing that we have that the Most High has told us we need to do, in which we haven't shared too much about it as of yet, it lets me know that we are going in the right direction, because this is why the enemy fights so hard. He comes at you from every angle, using whomever will allow themselves to be used. People lying, conniving, sniping on your post, calling my husband names and thinking that I'm not supposed to respond to it. My husband doesn't respond because he has no time for this nonsense. I'm his wife, I love him, and I'm responding on his behalf. It amazes me that because a woman is sitting alongside her husband, just like Priscilla and Aquila, that he has to be a weak ASS man, as one brother said, for allowing me to speak. As my husband stated before to another brother, it takes a strong man to deal with a strong woman. My husband acknowledges that the Most High has laid a blessing upon me. I haven't always been this way. I used to be very quiet and shy. The spirit that is upon me now is of the Most High. This is something that Yah has done. And only a person with spiritual eyes can identify a spiritual blessing. But I thank my husband for defending me in that way and knowing that it takes a strong man to deal with a strong woman. And only a weak man can't deal with a strong woman. That was his response to a brother years ago. And so here we go again. Men accusing him of being weak because he has his wife sitting next to him when we speak and teach together. And even the mere fact of me having a channel, the same brother said that my husband needs to get me off of YouTube. Why? Because I'm upsetting the world of men who have established their own righteousness, because I'm coming against your foolishness and your nonsense. And yes, polygamy did come up in the subject. It's always about what's going on in between your legs, brothers. Because you don't want sisters to interfere with the minds of other sisters. If a sister doesn't want to be a part of your polygamist garbage, that is her choice. There is nothing we can do to make her not be a part of that. But that is your issue, in which it always comes out. And the favorite scripture, let the women learn in silence. I'm going to go ahead and cut this video off, but I just wanted to shed some light on you people who have no idea the stress that we have been under. So much stress that our bodies were physically affected by this. Being concerned about protecting our children, protecting everything that belongs to us, our land, ourselves, being accused of being a part of a religious cult by a white militia. And yet you come at people in the way that you do. This is why our people cannot forge ahead, because we have no reference point for spirituality. We don't know how to come at each other. We're so full of venom and hatred against each other. The wickedness that brews amongst the Hebrew Israelites is astounding to me. And I think we've made the right decision in breaking away from this nonsense. We are going to continue our service to the Most High Yah, which is to continue to help wake up his children, to continue to love his children, to continue to bring the truth no matter what. Even if that truth cuts me, I'm going to bring it. I'm going to say shalom to my family. I love you all. And I thank all of you who are standing with us on this truth. Shalom.